This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day, and that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
So, how's the trip going so far?
Great.
Yeah. Awesome. I didn't get to see the show yesterday. How'd that turn out?
Good. Yeah, the turnout was nice. I mean, it's hard to see, this is our second time on it, so the being able to see in that room how far back it is, it's hard to tell, but hard to tell, and the low ceilings and stuff, so it feels really intimate and like underground and stuff, so, definitely used to that kind of
But you're sort of like theatrical as well, so how did that go? I didn't get to see it, but how did that go over, or how do you adapt from a smaller stage like that to the bigger one you're going to be playing on?
Well, we are
Sunday?
Used to be playing, we are being on the road, especially my band, I've been for more than 26 years working on this on the road. We are used to play any kind of stage, different audiences. We have been playing for open air festivals for 100,000 people when we play in Rock Park in Colombia, one of the biggest festivals in Colombia, and Mexico, biggest festivals in Mexico. Oh, so intimate places too, like a small clubs, small venues. So we're used to that, to those conditions. But regardless of the place, we are trying to deliver 100%. As an artist, displaying the best of our art, for our friends, for our fans. So it doesn't matter the place.
Do you find it difficult doing something like that because the energy is different, like when you're playing to 40 people as opposed to, like you said, 100,000?
Probably most of the biggest artists, they can tell you this, they feel more intimate when they play small shows because they feel more close to the people, close to the fans.
And I guess at the end of the day, like, they paid their money, right? So the fans that are there paid their $50 or whatever, so they...
Well, yeah, it's like, I mean, if you consider yourself a professional, it's like the amount of people that you play to, that's null and void.
I was just curious if it was different with the energy or...
I mean, it's always, depending night to night, because you could be playing to 800 people or 80 people, and you could have more drive on the night that you have 80 people because of just your day-to-day. But I mean, in the end, it's, like you said, the people paid to see.
Right, it's not that guy's fault.
So you gotta like separate that, and whether it's a big place or a small place, you gotta do your job. And that's, like he said, it's just delivering the best show that you can and performance for the people that are there to see you.
Gotcha. And if I'm right doing my research, you guys are like really popular south of the border, right? Like in the Spanish-speaking countries and Mexico and South America, that kind of thing?
Yeah, actually, because of my roots, from my legacy, I'm from Colombia, originally from Medellín, Colombia. So I've been in Dallas, Texas for like 15 years ago. So of course, my connection to the Latin American roots, the Latin American people, especially in the States too. In the United States, we got a lot of follow-up from the Hispanic community. It's a huge Hispanic community from Mexico, from Central America. So we got, I think, the best of both worlds. The American crowds, the Latin American follow-up. So we got the best of the worlds, and we are thankful just to be having this support for our fans, because that was the most valuable thing that we had, having our fan base,
and
our
South
friends.
American fans are pretty rabid. I mean, way more than I think a lot of other places.
They want it as gritty. Gritty death metal, gritty black metal. They want it just nasty. So yeah.
Are you guys working on anything new?
Yes, we're working actually on the new album to be released next year. Hopefully next year.
So 26.
Oh, I'm sorry. To be released this year, 2025. Nice. So we are just working on it. So hopefully we can release it by sometime this
So when you're working on a Thy Antichrist album, do you purposely try and not write like the previous record, because you don't want to write the same songs, right? But you don't want to also alienate your fan base. So how do you balance that?
Well, for sure, we are not like a kind of type of band like AC/DC. They can release every single new album and it's AC/DC. The music is AC/DC. But for us, we are trying to do that we enjoy the most, depending on the time, the circumstances, because we are changing over the time. The music of the band will be changing over the time. The performance will be changing over the time. So we are trying to bring the best of us, put it in the writing, the best of music, how we feel it. And first of all, we are writing music for us, how we can be happy with what we're writing. And I'm pretty sure that we are demanding at this point just to be delivering the best of the writing music for our fans.
When you're writing, do you kind of approach it with a theme? Like, hey, we're going to start writing and this is the theme, or do you just start writing and then it develops as you go?
We just let it flow. Yeah, I think the art, when you are so passionate about art, you let it flow. When you are an artist, regardless the kind of art that you do, photography, paintings, or sculptures, or regardless of the art that you do, I think the most important thing is to let your art feelings and emotions let it flow, and on the way it's going to be taking shape. So that's the process for our creations.
Right. Do you guys have trouble in the States with your image and your looks, or is that not a thing anymore?
Honestly, it was shocking at some point. It was really shocking, and especially being in the metal community for a long time, especially for YouTube or all audience that we can say, before, it was shocking expressing lyrics or content about satanic lyrics, Satan and hell and demons and that kind of stuff back in the day, like in the 80s and the early 90s. That was the selling point back in the day.
Right, like Venom and all those guys.
Venom, Slayer, all the big bands, that was the selling point about Satan, hell. But honestly, nowadays, the generation is changing so much that the new generation, they don't even care about that. They say they're not scared anymore about that kind of stuff. So for us, we haven't had an issue besides because we got a really shocking name that is called Thy Antichrist, So it's a really shocking name, but luckily we're having just a good experience because most of the content that we got in The Antichrist is more philosophical. It's more like a philosophy, most about the writing, about the mankind nowadays, the chaos that we are living every day, regardless the position, the place on the earth that you are. So that is the lyrics of The Antichrist. If everyone can get deep into the lyrics and the philosophy that we're writing with the band, it's connected to the visual, that you say, the theatrical aspect of the music. It's just something raw, strong, but theatrical at the same point. It's connected with the lyrics, And
it's not just shock for shock value. There's meaning and thought behind it all as well,
yes,
right?
It is.
You're not just putting on makeup and screaming. There's Satan. You're just...
Yes, there is a meaning behind the lyrics, but it's more like a realistic reflection about the reality, about against the religion's beliefs, the religion's industry, all the politics, the nowadays the chaos that we are experiencing nowadays.
And it's, oddly enough, black metal is sort of timely at this point, right? Because that's the shitty world we're living in at the moment.
It's a black metal war. Pretty much.
Very relevant.
It's a black metal war.
It's super relevant.
Yeah, it's really relevant.
Even if you're not a metalhead, it's relevant.
Everything has like a succession with art and worldly events, and like we're kind of at that point now where we're, in a lot of ways, it's like we're reliving a lot of the points of like the 80s and 90s. Like, and I mean, we're all, we grew up in those time periods,
right.
But like a lot of people are kind of experiencing a lot of that stuff now too.
But
like ideology and just like music and everything, like I think.
Right, but the difference is you don't have the, remember the PMRC and all that bullshit? You don't have that anymore, that whole
that would be
unimaginable.
Yeah, that would be wild.
Because that was the end of...
yeah, that would have been wild.
That was like the end of the 80s, early 90s, right? You had all that bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys? You guys touring after this, or...
So pretty much during the last year and this year, we are gonna have like a handful of shows, especially festivals. We had two coming festivals in Mexico. We are gonna be for the first time in Guadalajara, Mexico, and playing in a festival over there in March, next March. We are gonna do an exclusive show in Tacoma, Washington. So it's gonna be more like an exclusive show in a small venue, something intimate that we were talking before. And then we go in May for another festival in Ciudad de Mexico, in Mexico City. So we are gonna play in other festival over there. So we are going on the road, whatever offer that we got on the road. So we go over there, we explore and see the offers that we got.
Okay.
So hopefully we are excited. Just probably put a tour together back in the States. The last time that we did a long tour, it was like 5 or 6 years ago when we were touring with Safety Flesh and The Funeral and a winter tour. So it was amazing. It was a blast. So hopefully pretty soon we can put a tour together, especially if we are going to be releasing a new album. But that's pretty much the plan that we got for now.
Perfect. So a couple more then before he comes and knocks on the door. We're all getting older, right? Do you find it harder keeping up and...
Since you're new to H&R Block, we'll look at your returns from the last 3 years for any money your last guy might have missed for free.
I could get money back from last year?
You could. We'll find any mistakes.
Could have really used that 2 years ago when I dated that mistake for 5 months.
Don't leave money on the table. Switch to H&R Block and get a free Second Look review. Second Look is included at no additional cost with the purchase of tax preparation. Results vary. All tax situations are different. Fees apply if you have us file an amended return.
How do you keep up with the aging process and still touring, especially significant amounts? Do you do anything differently?
I mean, playing drums, I have to, health and fitness has always been a, huge aspect of my life, and that became more of a focal point as I got into drumming, in 18, 19, 20.
Right.
I knew that if I wanted to preserve my ability to do that, and as I got older, I wanted to play heavier and crazier music, and it's you have to kind of, I want to enjoy myself, and I like to party here and there, and have a drink and stuff, but at the same time, I need to be conscious, if I'm
it's your
playing
career.
Metal all the time.
It's we all go to the gym, so just kind of take care of it.
I want to be able to play double bass, into my, my elderly years is, I want to hold off that break point, where you can't be a professional football player your whole life.
Right, no, I get that.
It's
a lot
a real
of people burn out easier, quicker because it's hey, let's get out and drink our asses off. And
for me,
then
of course,
fade out
what you
in 2
say,
years,
for me, what you say is kind of demanding, has been demanding over the time too, because the process that I put behind the Antichrist performance, every show, for the people that they don't know this, usually I spend 2 hours and a half before the show, doing all the makeup, all the corpse paint, so it's kind of demanding. Before the show is every day when we are on tour, or regarding of the situation, sometimes we are rushing because we are traveling and we are trying to make it on time to the venue. So I had to take in consideration that it's 2 hours before the show for me, putting together everything, all the corpse paint, the makeup, and that kind of stuff. It's kind of challenging, but it's something that we are enjoying together, regardless what. We are doing art at the end of the day. We are expressing ourselves on the stage. That's what the people really loves, enjoys. We are trying to bring that kind of joyful to our fans, to the metal community. Bringing something different, something that they can enjoy. That's the point that we are doing what we're doing, this kind of art. Regardless what conditions, regardless the stage, regardless the place, so we are trying to deliver the best of us, and that has been our duty.
Perfect. So then lastly, how does 70,000 Tons compare to the other festivals you've played? It's pretty different, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely different. You feel part of it for sure. It's not for us, it's maybe collectively with performance getting ready, and it's maybe 6-7 hours worth of work, right? But then the set times, we got 2 spots, about 45 minutes each. So really, in the grand scheme of 5 days, you really feel like you're part and connected. And even on the first day when we're all boarding, you pass, for me it was Ishan, passing Ishan a couple handfuls of times, and it's just hey, what's up, man?
Right.
So it's just a very it's not just a festival.
Intimate.
Yeah, it's you're part of a real family.
And everybody's approachable, which is
it's a different vibe. It's definitely a different vibe. For fortunately, a lot of the bands and us ourselves, we've been able to play a lot of really cool events and festivals, and it definitely is it's a very different
But some of those
vibe.
are very detached, right? You
Exactly.
got the 20,
It's just
the barricades and all the other
it's
junk.
way different. Yeah, and you run into people and they even say I've talked to tons of people that have been on tons of normal cruises, and it's then they went on one of these and it's it ruined it.
Yeah.
It's I don't ever want to go on.
It's funny you said that, because I was just telling you, this is my 10th 70K.
Exactly.
And my 30th wedding anniversary, my wife's like, hey, let's go on a cruise. And we went on one. I was like, well, that's where the stage was, and that's where this should be.
Yeah.
You know, remember when we saw...
Yeah.
And it totally ruined it.
Yeah, I heard that a lot yesterday from a lot of people that I was meeting.
Yeah. But 70 tons is a special thing in the world. You know, it's the getting, you know, the metal community. You know, is this kind of thing we don't see in another kind of genres and other kind of music.
No.
This is how we see metal community coming together. You know, that we see in the festivals in Europe, Central America, and the States. We see all the metal heads being devoted to their art, to the metal community. Yeah. And that's what we are doing here. It's something special because, of course, it's on a cruise. It gives the fancy stuff on a cruise, being on a cruise, all inclusive. But at the same point, is the getting, you know, metalheads coming all over the world from different bands, everywhere. All over the world. 60 bands from all over the world. So it's a special communion, you know, that we are doing here in 70 tons. And 70 tons has that special place and the metal community in the world, regardless anything.
That is all I had. I hope that wasn't too bad.
No.
So lastly, because I'm a fan as well, we're going to do a quick selfie and then...
Hey, this is Aaron from No Simple Road. I'm inviting you to come hang out with Apple, Mel, and I as we talk with the musicians, artists, chefs, authors, and beyond from the world that turns us on. We're reaching into the improvisational music scene, the psychedelic culture, the festival world, and getting to know what makes the people tick that create those scenes. Come join us on the long, strange trip over at No Simple Road.